So Herschel Walker on the campaign trail. Here he is with Tom Cotton, the most fascist feeling, traditional fascist feeling senator that we have.
And birthday cake lover.
What?
Are you not aware of this?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get into it.
Tell me.
One of my favorite stories. In an interview either a few months ago or a year ago, or maybe longer ago, he was telling a story either based on a question he was asked about what his favorite food was, or like a memory he had with his wife or something. And he was like, one thing me and my wife really bonded over early in our dating history was we both loved birthday cake. And he's not saying cake. He specifically said birthday cake. And he was like, we would just sometimes after like a date go get a birthday cake and then go home and eat it together. And I was like, that is just one of the most bizarre, hauntingly detailed.
Freud is gonna have a field day with that story.
Why exactly? And also the even if it wasn't necessarily a actual birthday cake with like, you know, frosting, writing, or candles, I'm like, wonder why specifically that's the term you use for it. But anyways, that's usually what I think about when I think about
birthday cake Tom Cotton.
Birthday Tom Cotton.
Right, who I guess loves fascism and birthday cake. And Rick Scott went to Herschel Walker's campaign stop in Georgia, and this story told by Herschel Walker, nothing can prepare you for what's about to come out of his mouth.
Or them, for that matter.
Actually, they watch them in the background. They are perplexed as well.
As they've been saying, something is better somewhere else. And I'm here to tell you it's not. So I've been telling this little story about this bull out in the field with 6 cows. And 3 of them are pregnant. So you know he got something going on. But all he cared about is kept his nose against the fence, looking at 3 other cows that didn't belong to him. Now all he had to do is eat grass. But no, he thought something was better somewhere else. So he decided, I want to get over there. So one day he measured that fence up. And he said, I think I can jump this. So that day came where he got back. And he got back, and as he took off running, he dove over that fence, and his belly got cut up onto the bottom. But as he made it over on the other side, he shook it off and got so excited about it. And he ran to the top of that hill, but when he got up there, he realized they were bulls too. So what I'm telling you, don't think something is better somewhere else.
So this is Herschel Walker's foray into Aesop's fables. More like Aesop's foibles.
Whoa!
I just came up with that on the spot. So, like, let's just go over this. When he was growing up in Georgia...
Yeah, so he's apparently told this anecdote before about his, like, time growing up in rural Georgia. Interesting to keep going with the whole...
Right, the
bull had it going on because he impregnated multiple cows narrative after everything that's been disclosed in the past few weeks.
So the bull was in a field with 6 other cows. He got 3 of them pregnant. Herschel Walker's like, kind of like a metaphor for my life. And then he went to the other side, and there were bulls. And he jumped the fence, and the grass wasn't greener on that other side. I'm going to tell this to my children, right? So you understand, if you stop yearning for things to be better because you have pregnant cows on your side.
Yeah, right, because I think part of the implication too, right, is like he went to the other side and there were only male cows.
Right.
I mean, like bulls, so like he couldn't really, like, you know... He had it going on way more on the other side of the fence than on the bull side of the fence. Also, I just want to go back for one second.
Hey, come on. Why don't you just have a party, bull on bull action?
Yeah,
Let's go.
Hey, probably a little bit, but maybe that bull was a little homophobic or something.
Right. That's Herschel's kind of bull.
Just want to take a look at Rick Scott's face here. This is a man who's like, if this guy does not become one of my colleagues in a few months, I am going to lose my job.
Yeah, I know.
Not as senator, obviously, as NRSC chair. Yeah,
right. Yeah, it is. They look uncomfortable there. So that is just an odd anecdote to keep going with. I mean, look, he's done so many bad things as a parent. It seems, as a not present parent for the children that he's had with women,
as
with lying, as a partner, holding a gun to someone's head, as a person using our taxpayer paid for roads when he almost killed a guy over a road rage incident. But based on like some of our discussions earlier in the show, it's hard not to be like, man, he's being exploited too, because he's not all there right now, and he should not be running for office, but he's being used by a cynical Republican Party that thinks that they can use him to shave off a certain voting demographic, just enough for them to win, and because he has the ear of Trump and evangelical leaders and Christians in the state. And
also another thing about which I think I understand people are cynical about, given this person's previous output on social media and in the media. I mean, I'm still very much with Sam that like I don't think Christian Walker's response to these developments is completely either staged or fabricated or like conveniently timed. I think this is actually taking a huge toll on his family and on his son.
As if but I mean, does he even care? We don't. Right. Like, you can still be a bad person and you can still be being exploited.
The Daily Beast,
the case with him.
Absolutely, and that's I think the point, right? Is he holds these repugnant views and he holds these he will have some sort of inordinate power if he becomes one of the Republican senators in a majority. But that doesn't mean that Mitch McConnell and Rick Scott and others are not using him to get to that point. And also another cynical point, they've already put so much money into his campaign and so much money into air cover. There's no turning back. Right. Also,
Kowalski says bulls don't typically jump fences; they just push through it. Jumping risk catching well. They're Rocky Mountain oysters. Also, bulls prefer being with other bulls after breeding season because bulls like to play and other bulls are big enough to play with. This story is bad. Yes. Cool.
Take it from a farmer.
Bad story. Daredevil, it's like the story of the grasshopper and the octopus. All year long, the grasshopper kept burying acorns for winter while the octopus mooched off his girlfriend and watched TV. Then the winter came and the grasshopper died and the octopus ate all his acorns, and also he got a race car. Is any of this getting through to you? I have no idea what you're talking about.
This might come up in one of Herschel's next stump speeches.
Yes.
They might be
the grasshopper and the octopus. Don't give him any ideas, or maybe you should. Warnock Dornock. Guys, I'm sure this is fake news, but I'm seeing ads about how Warnock was implicated in a domestic abuse case with his ex-wife, who has evidence, and also he protected accused in his church who were accused of sexual harassment. Is it worth reaching?
So I can't speak to the second anecdote. The first part, there was a police report where his ex-wife had called the police and had them come to their house and claimed and alleged that he had been kind of physical and emotionally, angry with her and ran her foot over with his car. But there was no indication of any physical injury, and it never actually mounted to a legal case. And Warnock was not charged with. It
seemed like he was pulling out of his driveway kind of fast, and he ran over her car.
So
in an argument.
So obviously, of course, that's not justifying or rationalizing it. That's just the facts based on what happened at the time.
Bingo dango, the octopus and grasshopper thing is a Futurama reference. There you go. Evan from Portland, I prefer to impregnate my single cow multiple times and raise my calves. There you go. Family values, Evan from Portland. Mine pillow guy, Tom Cotton runs every morning for one reason. I do it so I can indulge in the guilty pleasure of eating birthday cake. He says he eats it nearly every day with ice cream. There's a lot wrong with that shitbag, but I've always thought this was the weirdest fact about him. Yes.
Oh, yes. It was also part of like the exercise thing. I remember now. Oh. Yeah, thank you, Mind Pillow Guy. That's part of it.
That's kind of like a militant, there's like a personal militance and discipline thing that feeds into the fascism.
Yeah, 100%. He's like, I run every day so I can eat my rationed birthday cake with my wife. By the way.
My beautiful wife.
My beautiful wife. How dare you?
That's really funny.